Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Tanner here and welcome back to a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video we're going to be discussing something very interesting, and that is the aspect of similar elemental powers in Ninjago. I did a video recently talking about how basically water and ice are kind of the same thing. I mean, technically they are. I mean, water is just, I guess, liquefied ice. Ice is just solidified water. So you get what I'm saying here? Some elements in Ninjago are very similar to one another in terms of, I guess, style, actual design, and actual, I guess, origin. And we'll get into that very soon here. And there's not really a lot that are too similar, but these are just some of the, I guess, most similar ones that I pointed out. And we're not going to be going over things like creation, destruction, all that, because really that's not like too big of a thing. They're not really primary elements from what I can tell, so we'll just probably stick with the main core elements that we've seen elemental masters use in Ninjago. So first things first, yeah, water and ice, they're very similar with each other. Water is basically the exact same thing as ice, just again in different states of matter. So Nia and Zane both have very similar power sets, but again, in terms of Ninjago's level, they're kind of keeping it, I guess, a little more separate. They're not combining them or anything like that. They're not making them the exact same thing. They're two different elements as far as Ninjago's concerned, and, you know, while real life would disagree with that, I can't really argue with Ninjago logic. So ice and water are two separate things. Next up, fire and smoke. So I paired up these two together because, of course, smoke comes from fire. Fire produces smoke, from what I remember learning in school. So yeah, these two are very similar. Of course, they kind of complemented this in the series in Tournament of Elements by having Ash, the Master of Smoke, face off against Kai, who of course we all know is the Master of Fire. Those two kind of went back and forth with each other, which was really cool to see. It was really nice to see fire versus smoke, as they are very similar elements, so it was kind of fun to see them paired up together in such a creative and dynamic way. Next up, we have lightning and wind. So this one is kind of controversial. In one of the earlier Season 1 episodes of Ninjago, Jay used wind. He basically just straight up used the power of wind. And while this was confirmed to be a mistake from the editors and the actual producers of the show, you can't help but not see it. He literally says wind as he does it. And of course, we did later on get a Master of Wind in the form of Morrow. And again, wind and lightning are very similar as well. Lightning and wind share a lot in common in terms of, you know, the actual weather. They kind of happen at the same time. You know, you have lightning, you have wind. They're very much weather-based powers. And of course, Jay and Morrow aren't really too similar of people. They're two basically separate people again, but I can't help but point out the similarities between their elemental powers. They're not as close as water and ice, but they're definitely from the same origin. They're very much weather-based powers again, so I can definitely see how they would be classed as similar powers. And lastly here, just kind of wanted to throw this one in here just for fun, but energy and golden power. So from what I can figure out, energy is basically the weakened version of golden power. Golden power is essentially all of the elements combined, or at least the primary elements from Ninjago combined into, I guess, one mass, and the actual power of energy is what Lloyd had when the golden power was taken away from him. So in a way, it's basically the elemental power that was kind of left over from his golden power. So they are kind of similar in that front. They're basically the same thing, except golden power adds additional elements to that. So I think that's very interesting to point out. And basically, guys, this video is kind of over. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about in this one. This video kind of felt like something random and fun that I just kind of wanted to do because I couldn't help but notice how a lot of these elements are kind of similar to one another. And it kind of makes me wonder what the actual potential would be in terms of having them, I guess, combined in the Ninjago show. If they're similar elements, you know, could one master control the other one, such as the whole Nia controlling ice theory? But all that remains to be seen. This video wasn't trying to theorize anything. This is just kind of a fun video that I just wanted to do because, again, I thought it would be fun. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, as always, don't forget to give the video a huge thumbs up rating. And of course, remember to hit the subscribe button if you've not done so already. Let me know down below in the comments if there are any elements that you can find similarities in. I only really picked the ones that jumped out at me right away, but if there are any more that you think of, feel free to leave those down below. I look forward to reading what you guys come up with. In the description, you'll find the links towards my other forms of social media, whether it be my Twitter, my Instagram, my Patreon, or my merch. Be sure to support me on all of those platforms if you would like to. With all that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, my name is TannerFishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.